both the surface area and the volume of a sphere today. Okay, so you can think of the surface area of a sphere as the total area of all of the non-overlapping strips it would take to cover the sphere. So think kind of paper mache on like a balloon. Okay, so all those strips over the balloon, okay, that is your surface area. Yeah, there's an orange one over there. Shh. Quiet, please. Okay, if R is the radius of the sphere, then the area of a great circle of the sphere is pi r squared. The great circle is the biggest circle created within your sphere. Okay, that would be this one right here. Okay, around that equator part there. So think of like the globe, that equator would be your great circle. Okay, so that is the great circle here, and you have your radius r. The total surface area of the sphere is 4 times the area of a great circle. Okay, so our surface area is 4 times the area of a great circle, which is just pi r squared. So our surface area, we're just multiplying the area of a circle by 4. Okay, so a sphere has one basic measurement, and that's the length of its radius. Okay, so to find the surface area of a sphere, all we need to know is the radius of that sphere. Okay, same thing for the volume of a sphere. Okay, so if you know the radius, you can also find the volume. Okay, the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, now this time r is cubed. Okay, it's raised to the 3rd power, it is not squared. And we do have that 4/3 piece. So we are going to go over some examples here. For 1 and 2, we're going to find both the surface area and the volume of these given spheres. Okay, so for number 1, again, the measurement that we need in order to find surface area and volume is the radius. Okay, your radius of that great circle is 5 feet. Okay, so our radius is 5 feet. So the first one I want to find is the surface area. Okay, so we're going to find the surface area. Using r is 5, we can then use our surface area formula of 4 pi r squared. We're going to plug in 5 for r. So we have 4 pi times 5 squared. Now if I asked you to leave this in exact form, you would have 25 times 4, which is 100, and we would leave pi in the answer. Okay, so that would be your exact surface area. However, you can multiply pi, and it didn't ask for the exact surface area, to get 314.16 feet squared. Okay, so the surface area of this sphere is 314.16 feet squared. Okay, so now that I have the surface area, I also want to find the volume. Okay, so I'm going to split this in half here. So now we're going to find the volume of this sphere. And again, all we need is the radius in order to do that, and we can use our formula from above that I highlighted. So the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. And we're going to plug in 5 for r. Okay, so we have 4/3 pi times 5 cubed. Now, if you forgot how to enter that in your calculator, one. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to follow order of operations here. I'm going to cube this 5 first. Okay, so I have 5. I need to raise it to the power of 3. So I'm going to push this caret key. Okay, that raises it to a power. Okay, so raising it to the power of 3. Okay, I can press equals. I get 125, which is 5 cubed. Okay, then I'm also going to multiply 4 and pi into that. So times 4 times pi. Okay, and then I have to divide by 3. Okay, so you should get an answer of 523.6. And that is in feet cubed. Okay, so your volume formula, if you don't want to write it as this fraction and that confuses you, I'm going to move here for a second. Instead of this, we could write this as 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. Okay, if that makes more sense to you, it's easier to enter in your calculator then, do it that way. Okay, so you're still doing the same thing, except you're dividing by 3 last. Back here so you guys can see that. Okay, questions on how I found the surface area or the volume of this first sphere? All right, then number 2. Okay, again, first thing I want to do is find the surface area. Now, with this one and the surface area, we have a half sphere, correct?
Yes.
Now, think back to when I said I had this paper mache ball, right? If I were to cut that in half, it would make a bowl shape, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be a lid on top of it? No, this sphere has something on top of it. Okay, so to find the total surface area, you need to take that half sphere surface area. We also need to add on the great circle on top. Okay, you need that bowl shape with the lid on top. Okay, and that lid is a circle, so we have to add on the area of that circle. Okay, so I'm going to write that out. So our surface area, what we're going to do is take the surface area of the sphere, which is 4 pi r squared. Okay, it's a half sphere, so we need to divide it by 2. Okay, because it's half. It's a half sphere, so we're dividing by 2. Now again, if I were to cut that sphere in half, I'd be left with a bowl. Okay, we need a bowl with the lid on top. So I need to add that circle on top of that sphere. Okay, so I need to add on the area of that circle, which is pi r squared. Okay, so this is your added top circle. Questions on why I did that? Okay. You need a bowl, you need the lid on top of it for this half sphere. Alright, so since my only measurement within both of these is the radius, our radius is 6, I can just plug in 6 for r. Okay, so we have 4 pi times 6 squared divided by 2 plus pi times 6 squared. Okay, make sure you can enter that into your calculator. Okay, and I got 339.3 inches squared. Is that what you guys got? Your calculator? All right. Then I do want to find the volume of this half sphere as well. So since volume is the total space enclosed within the sphere, do I have to do anything fancy with my half sphere besides divide by 2? No, I don't have to do anything fancy like I did for surface area. Okay, so we're just going to take our volume of 4 pi r cubed over 3, and we're going to divide that answer by 2 because it is a half sphere. Okay, so again, all we need is the radius to find this, so I can plug in 6 for r. Okay. So again, make sure you can enter this in your calculator. You know how to do it. You need 6 cubed, so raise 6 to the 3rd power. Multiply that number by 4 and by pi. Then divide it by 3. And then divide that by 2 to get your half sphere. Where's the calculator I lent you, Alex? Good place for it. I got 452.39 or 0.4 inches cubed. Okay, questions? Finding the surface area or volume on those first 2 problems there. No? We good? All right. On the back then, number 3, a billiard ball set consists of 16 spheres, each 2 1/4 inches in diameter. What is the total volume of a complete set of billiard balls? Do you know what billiards is? It's pool. Billiards is pool. Because it was originally called billiards. Okay? But it's pool. It's still called billiards. Have you ever heard of a billiard room? Like Clue? It's a billiards room. It's a game room.
Yeah.
It's a pool table.
No, never.
Okay. Good talk. Glad I taught you something new today. All right, so it consists of 16 spheres. Each are 2 1/4 inches in diameter. So I'm going to change this to a decimal to 2.25. Okay, so what we want to do is find the volume of one of these spheres, okay, in order to find the total set. So first I do need the radius since I was given the diameter. Okay, our radius, we need to divide that diameter by 2. And that is 1.125. So our radius is 1.125 inches. So we can find the volume of one of these spheres. Okay, so the volume of one, volume of one of the spheres, we would use 4 pi. R is 1.125, that is cubed, divided by 3. Okay, so we're just still using that volume of a sphere. Okay, and that volume of one of those spheres, you should get about 5.97 inches cubed. Okay, so that's one of the spheres. Now, if your set consists of 16, how do I find the volume of the total set? Multiply by 16. There are 16 total. So our total volume of that set will be 95.52 inches cubed. Questions on number 3? I think I took out number 4, that's why I jumped to 5. Oops. Okay, then in number 5, Marcus builds a sphere inside of a cube. The sphere fits snugly inside the cube so that the sphere touches the cube at one point on each side. The side length of the cube is 2 inches. So since this is a cube, that means all of your sides are going to be the same length. Okay, they're going to be 2 inches. Now if that sphere fits perfectly inside that cube, what's the diameter of that sphere? 2 inches. All right, so now that I have my picture labeled, letter A, what is the surface area of the cube? Do you remember how to find surface area of a cube? Surface area is pH plus 2b. A cube is a prism, so finding the surface area of a prism, we use pH plus 2b. So that means we need to find pH and b. Okay, so we need a base of this cube. Well, since all of the sides are the same, we just choose one of the sides as our base. Okay, and I'm going to use the very bottom one right here. Okay, so this is going to be our base shape. So to find P, that's the perimeter of that base shape. All 4 sides are the same, and they're 2 inches. So our perimeter is going to be 8 inches. Okay, then I need H, which is the height of the cube. Okay, again, all of our sides are the same. So the height of that cube is going to be 2 inches. And we also need capital B, or the area of that base. Okay, the base is a square, so we just need to multiply 2 times 2 to get 4 inches squared. Okay, so now we can find the surface area of this cube by plugging into our formula here. So we have 8 times 2 plus 2 times 4. Okay, and our surface area is going to be 24 inches squared. Okay, questions on letter A? Okay, I want you guys to do B and C. Do letters B and C on that note sheet. Are you smiling at me for? Thanks. Yeah.
No, don't worry about the ribbon. I don't have a box for you to put them in. Yes.
Oh, that's so weird. So let's not figure out how to work out cubed square root. My I don't know why, but there's YouTube videos where I do that really easily.
You should have been focusing on your other math.
Hey, you know, I wasn't really good.
I don't have a box. I don't want to know it. Something about pilot? No. Say any sense. No, she's about what I'm doing the riddle. What? I made that. Yeah, I put it on here so that you can check your answers to see if you got one of them that's on there. Right? I was doing that. No box. Now you're writing it. Yeah. It's something about pilot.
Miss Baldwin.
I said I look forward to ruining my video. Sorry. Tomorrow?
Wait, on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, when's our test?
All right, so I'm going to go over B and C. Quiet down now. I'm going to go over B and C. So letter B is finding the surface area of that sphere. So you're using the formula 4 pi r squared for surface area. Okay, our radius is 1 inch. Okay, since our diameter was 2. So we can plug in 1 for r. Okay, so we have 4 pi times 1 squared. That will be about 12.57 inches squared for your surface area. Okay, then letter C. Letter C says, what is the volume of the sphere outside? What is the volume of the space outside the sphere but inside the cube? Okay, so outside of the sphere but still inside the cube. That means we're going to have to subtract our volumes. So we need to take the volume of the cube minus the volume of the sphere. Okay, volume of a cube. Our formula is capital B times H. Formula for volume of a sphere, that was on the front side of your note sheet. That is 4 pi r cubed divided by 3. Now, for B and H, in that first formula, we already found B and H in letter A. B is 4, H is 2. Okay, so we have 4 times 2 for the volume of that cube minus 4 pi, our radius. Okay, again, we found earlier, that's 1 cubed divided by 3. No. You have to divide this entire equation by 3, but you cannot divide this by 3. No. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 pi divided by 3 is about 4.19. Okay, so that volume outside the sphere but inside the cube will be 3.81, and that is in inches cubed. Okay, questions on surface area or volume of a sphere?